Good morning, class. Please open up to page number 39. In today's class, we are going to read and study the poem on the grasshopper and cricket, which is written by John Keats, who was born in 1795 and died in 1821. He is considered to be one of the greatest of English poets. At the age of 16, he was apprenticed to a surgeon, but he gave up surgery to write poetry. He was more inclined towards writing. So, his first volume of poems appeared in 1817. In this particular poem on the grasshopper and cricket, we get a good idea of Keats' love for nature and his knowledge of it at first hand. Now see, children, this particular poem is called a sonnet. The reason being, it is divided into 14 lines. Now the first 8 lines are called octet, and the last 6 lines of the sonnet are called sestet. Now a sonnet is a little song or a lyric, and it rhymes in a fixed pattern. Now generally the sonnets are of 6 kinds. This particular sonnet by John Keats on the grasshopper and cricket is an Italian sonnet. Now each and every sonnet has their own peculiarities. Why this is an Italian sonnet? Because it follows the rhyme scheme of ABBA, ABBA, CDE and CDE. Please, all the things that you see that I have scribbled in my book. If being a teacher I am scribbling all these things, noting down such important points, you also are supposed to do the same. So this is a romantic sonnet. See, in the earlier days, the poems or writings there were just 2 categories. Either it was romance or it was tragedy. So all such poems or subjects dealing with nature, beauty of nature, come under the heading romance. Now children, let us, before I begin to explain the poem in detail, let me just give you in a small nutshell what is the poem all about. You know, it is a sonnet, consists of 14 lines. Rhyme scheme you have already seen. Now it talks about the grasshopper and cricket. The poet over here says that the music of nature is omnipresent, meaning to say it is always there, it never dies, it never diminishes. And to show that, he has taken 2 different creatures, a grasshopper and a cricket. He has taken these creatures to represent the vitality and joyous mood of nature, even in blistering heat or extreme cold. So before we go into a detailed explanation, let us just enjoy the poem. I'll read it and you close your eyes and listen to it. The poetry of earth is never dead. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun and hide in cooling trees, a voice will run from hedge to hedge about the new mown mead. This is the grasshopper's. He takes the lead. In summer luxury he has never done with his delights, for when tired out with fun, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. The poetry of earth is ceasing never. On a lone winter evening, when the frost has wrought a silence, from the stove there shrills the cricket's song in warmth increasing ever, and seems to one in a drowsiness half lost, the grasshoppers among some grassy hills. Now let us go into a detailed explanation of the poem. So the first 8 lines of the sonnet are called octet. I told you this before. Now this octet tell about the sound of the grasshopper or the song of the grasshopper. The poetry of earth, the beauty, the sounds, and its vitality is never dead. It never dies. It never comes to an end. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun. See, we all make it a point during the summers to keep some water out for the birds, as they do not find any natural puddles in the earth to drink, to quench their thirst. And what do generally? And hide in cooling trees. So they seek shelter from the extreme heat, they seek shelter in the cooling trees. They hide under the leaves. A voice will run. Whose voice will run? From hedge to edge about the new mown men. So when during this extreme heat all the birds are hiding under, they have taken shelter in the trees, who will be running around? The grasshopper. He takes the lead. So that is the time when the birds have taken a back seat and the nature belongs to the grasshopper. In summer luxury he has never done with his delights. Even during the extreme summer, he is never tired. He takes delight, he takes joy even in this extreme heat. For when tired out with fun, and he is hopping from one place to the other, from one hedge to the other, from one stem to the other, singing its song. And what does he do? When he is tired of all the fun, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. He does not shy away from the extreme heat. He only rests when he is tired. Now the next 6 lines are called sestet, the last 6 lines of the sonnet. So sestet, 6 means 6. They talk about the cricket song in winter. Now the grasshopper we saw is singing merrily even in the extreme heat. Now let us see what does the cricket do during the winter. Again, the poet starts with, see, the first opening line is, for the octet was, the poetry of earth is never dead. For the sestet is, the poetry of earth is ceasing never. It is the endless song of earth. Both the lines mean the same thing. Now, the first 8 lines talked about the summer heat. The last 6 lines talk about the extreme winter. On a lone winter evening, when the frost, right, we know when it is extremely cold, the ground is covered with white frost, has wrought a silence everything is silent. Because of the extreme cold, you hardly see any animals or birds hopping around or running around. So when even the nature is silent, what do you hear from the stove? So where is the cricket hidden? Somewhere near the warmth of the stove. And the sound of the cricket is very shrill, very sharp. It hurts your ear. From the stove there shrills the cricket song, in warmth increasing ever. So he is nestled there in the near the warmth of the stove, and seems to one in drowsiness half lost. So during the extreme winters, when we are snugly, we are warm, then how do we feel? We feel drowsy. Even during the summer heat also, children, you will realize, if you have noticed or observed, that it is very difficult. If you are taking an afternoon nap, it is very difficult for you to wake up in the evening. So this is why it is said, when you take the afternoon siesta or nap, one should not lie fully in the bed. Instead, one should recline in an easy chair and nap for some time. So here the poet is talking about the cricket who is snug and warm near the stove, and though the sound of the cricket is very shrill and it is piercing the ear, but it is all snuggled in the warmth, and it is drowsing. And seems to one in drowsiness half lost, the grasshoppers among some grassy hills. So during the summers, it is the sound of the grasshopper that takes an upper hand, but it is in the winters, it is the cricket's song which even it even brings to you, it makes the sound of the grasshopper not so loud. It hides it, it covers it. So all all this is from this lovely poem over here. Okay, now over here, children, the poet also says that because the ground is covered with frost, the chilly atmosphere, the extreme cold has forced the cricket to seek shelter inside the home near the stove, but his song has not come to an end. So please, I request you to go through the video once again, because until and unless you do, the poem and the meaning of the poem and all the details attached to it will not be clear. If anything which is not clear, we'll take it up again once the school reopens. Thank you.